Hi, welcome to Live with Sawgrass, or I confused myself today. Learn with Sawgrass. I am Rhonda, the education manager here, and we're so glad you joined us either live or whether you're watching this a little bit later. So we do go live every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So join us each week. Or pick us up a little bit later on our YouTube channel to kind of watch and see what's going on. But this month is a very important one to me. It's one that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and it's what I'm calling Christmas in July. Because if you're going to sell this holiday season, whether it's just to a few friends or whether it's going to be a full out selling experience, whether it's your first or your 20th, we want to give you some tips and tricks to kind of get you through the holiday season. And the best time to start is now in July. So you're all prepared and ready to go as we get closer to the big day. So next week is really exciting. I really hope you tune in. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. Next week, we're going to be looking at what I think are the big trends, the big products to make for the 2025 holiday season using your Sawgrass printer, whether you're using the VersaFlex system or whether you're using Sublijet ink or one of our other inks. We have some great things to talk about next week. Tuesday, we're going to focus on holiday decor because I think VersaFlex is opening up a whole new platform of things that you can make. And then on Wednesday, we're going to focus on that biggest of all the products for the holiday season, ornaments. So we're going to be looking at ornaments. We're going to be looking at all the different materials you can use, both with traditional sublimation and with the new VersaFlex design system. So either way, we've got you covered. We have some great things for next week. But before we get there, let's talk about selling. And today we're going to focus on where to sell. Now, I kind of want to acknowledge that there are multiple types of people who sell for the holidays. I am, and will be very perfectly honest, I'm what you would call a crafter or hobbyist. I do not have a store. I do not sell. I mostly make because I work here and I found some great things I love. So I make a lot of things for my friends and family. Most of my holiday gifts have been sublimated. I already know what I'm doing this year with the VersaFlex system for my friends and family. I'm super excited about that. But I'm one of those who I've always made teacher gifts. I make shirts for my daughter to wear to school. I make all of those things, but I don't really sell. However, you're going to see that I actually do sell, and we're going to talk a little bit about me today. But then we're also going to talk about that person that has the side hustle. So you probably have a full-time job, you're doing something else, but you do certain jobs, some jobs, you probably limit how much you make and how much you sell. Then there's the person who really is starting that home-based business. Again, you may have another job. This may be something that you focus on, but it's definitely more of a hustle. You're definitely into that small business category. And I think I may have said 2 or 3 at the beginning, but I'm going to go ahead and add a 4th. And that's someone who truly is selling, and that's their predominant business. And so there's definitely different places to sell, no matter where you fit in those 4 different seats. And you may sit in a couple of the different seats, honestly. So let's kind of look at it. So the first thing I want to talk about is just word of mouth selling. Now, this is going to get into social selling as well. This is where I fall. So like I said, I don't sell, I don't have a presence, don't have a store name, don't do anything big, but I do have friends who come to me during the holiday season and go, hey, I know you can make this. How much would it cost? So I did 2 or 3 last Christmas. Probably will do the same 2 or 3 or more this Christmas. But it's just that word of mouth. When people know that you have a hobby that can help them, they're probably going to ask you. Now, that's probably the one where you struggle the most with pricing. I think we're going to focus on pricing some a little bit later on in the month, but really making sure that you're getting paid for both your product and your time. Now, what does this kind of selling look like? Well, first of all, it's wearing your own products. It's posting your own stuff online. And this is where the social selling piece of it comes in. So one place you can definitely sell is social selling, meaning you post on social media when you have a new product, whether it's just you wearing it out. I know that there's a lot of people who will make things that their kids use, proudly share it, and then all you have to say is, hey, if you're interested, and then have a link. Now, any social media platform these days do have some selling capabilities, whether it's Pinterest, whether it's Instagram, whatever it may be. So that's something to consider. Also remember, and we'll focus on this more later as we go through the month, you as a Sawgrass owner, through the My Sawgrass design tool, do have your own store if you're in the US. It is US only right now, but you do have your own store. You're just getting a social link that you can share. They just click on it, it takes them into your store. They can personalize, they can order, and then once they order, we handle all of the back end stuff, and then you get the order to produce along with the shipping label. So if you do not have a selling platform as of yet, that's kind of an easy one for you to kind of ease into, because all you're really doing is posting your design, and then you're producing the order once it comes in, and then you, of course, are the one who's sharing it. So that's a kind of good way to do it. But social selling, letting people see what you have, is a good way to do this. Now, if you've not checked out the content from last week, please, please, please check it out, because there's 2 that play in here. First of all, on Tuesday, we did an early look in June at Christmas selling with Lori Donovan. And Lori talks about this very guerrilla marketing that I was talking about, where she'll wear products, her granddaughter will wear products, and then when people ask, where did you get that? That's awesome. She has the business card. Business cards are really easy to get made. Just to kind of give your information, all you really need to do is give an email. If you want to give a phone, we'll talk about having your own website in a minute. If you have a website, you can put that on there too. You can put your My Sawgrass store link on there also. But any of this is just an easy way to give this out. Now, where do you get business cards printed? Well, first of all, if you have a home printer that prints cardstock, you can do it yourself. Whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Publisher, whether it's a Google program, all of them are going to have some sort of basic business card template. Business cards are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Put a few on a page, and then you can hand cut them. You just have to print them on cardstock. Any of your printing stores, whether it be FedEx office, whether it be Staples, any of those are going to be able to help you with that. Minuteman Press as well. Any of those will be able to do that for you. And then also there are lots of great quick printing business card programs that you can find online to send those off and get them back quickly. And you don't have to have a large number on hand, but they're a good thing to hand out just to give out your information. And then of course on your social media too. The other thing that came out last week that I think is very helpful is our Think Differently podcast. Remember, you can check out Think Differently podcast on Spotcast, Apple Music, and on Amazon Music as well. And we did a great episode that dropped early this week with Alex Fox, who used to work for us, but he does sell sublimation on Etsy as well. So please check that out on our Instagram page. But Alex talks about some of this as well, about the social piece of this, about selling in general. So definitely a place to talk. Now, the next thing, and I'll kind of lead into that, is there are many platforms online where you can sell. So Etsy, of course, is probably the biggest and the most well-known, but there are lots of others too. If you go into Pinterest, if you just kind of look, there are lots of platforms made specifically for handmade items. There's even one on Amazon where you can sell. So really looking at where you can sell those crafted goods that you make. So there are lots of platforms. Now, how do you find those? Where do you find any of this? Well, that ties us back to social, because I think this is very important. There are lots of groups out there, no matter what your crafting technologies are, and those are a good place to kind of get connected and to see where other people are selling. And they can give you some really good information on those social platforms where you can connect, and then what websites do the most for you as a crafter when you go to sell. So lots of options out there. I forgot to throw this out earlier. I'll throw it out now. If you are watching us live, please comment in the chat on where you sell. So we can kind of get some ideas going from you. Rhodes is monitoring that chat for me. He'll let me know if there's any questions, and then I'll check at the end to see if you have any suggestions too. So of course, that's going to be big, is the online. Why is online selling great? Well, it's good because it's all managed through software. You're not having to take money yourself. And then the other great thing about doing online selling is that you are able to reach a more large spread audience than just what you're able to reach locally. But selling in person is always great. And there are so many fall markets. We're getting you started early, so you still have time to sign up. There's lots of holiday markets. There's lots of fall markets. There's lots of places locally that you can sell. As we're getting into the school year, a lot of schools do have fall festivals where you can sell. There's also going to be opportunities to sell possibly at local sporting events. We will be entering football season soon. So there's lots of opportunities there to connect and sell, whether you're selling at an event that happens once or whether you're selling at a market that happens every week. There's going to be lots of chances there. Now, how do you find these opportunities? Well, part of it is through where you're already connected. If you checked out our video yesterday, you saw that I said one of the biggest things to do is find a niche. I think niches are the best when it's something that you're personally connected to. I practically live at the ice rink, so I know there's lots of hockey games coming up and lots of hockey tournaments coming up. They always have an ability to rent a table in the lobby and sell there. And then also there's a big skating competition coming up. I'd be able to set up there, and then you just focus to the people who would be there. Whether it's the skating parents or whether it's the skaters, there's lots that you can make and sell that they would love and adore. So get with local organizations that you're already a part of is the biggest one. Almost every city, every town is going to have some sort of craft guild. They're going to be able to tell you as well. I live in a decent sized city, so I would check with my visitors bureau and check with them and see what they have coming up. I have said it and will say it as always, join local business groups. Chamber of Commerce is huge, especially if you live in a smaller area, just so you can be connected and you can know what's happening so you can set up and join those things. We as sublimators fall into a very unique category because you are on the kind of craft side of the world and you are selling things that are handmade, but you also could do things that are a little more bulk. It really depends on how customized it is. You could do something that's very focused on the town, and you could go to a craft market and have 100 already made if you know there'd be enough interest in buying it, or you could do the one-offs. Now, what does that look like? And there's two ways this can look. One is you are making on demand. Now, I know from my experience at trade shows that if you are making on the spot, yes, you can easily take a printer. Yes, you can easily take a press. Most of these things aren't going to take a lot of pieces and parts, and you can easily do it. I always recommend you have at least 2 people in your booth. 3 would not hurt. 1 to talk to people and take orders, and then 1 to kind of make, and they may need an assistant. So having that, you have to have 2 if you're going to do it on the spot. Make sure it's something that's easy to do, and always take into consideration how much internet or Wi-Fi you're going to have. So pictures are probably out, but something where you're adding a name. If you have a program where you can easily add the name and then send that over to the Sawgrass print utility, that's your best bet, and that's usually your sweet spot. I love a good automatic mug press. These are really great. You print it, it does take a little bit to tape it down, but then you just drop it in and you have that press, and you can start working on the next one. So if you're going to make on demand, at least 2 people in the booth, 1 to talk to the customers and 1 to produce. If you have an assistant, even better, they can tape while you're manning the press. And then just make sure your press is somewhere where children or no one else can get close to it. I think shirts are amazing. I've pressed many a shirt this year at trade shows. It works really well, especially if it's something where you're not doing a lot of changes per person. But again, same thing. Add a name, change a color, send it over, and then be able to print that and press that on the spot. Now, a lot of people take samples, and then those ready-made items that aren't personalized already have them printed so they can sell, and then have some sort of display or book that you can use to then tell people about your other products, and they can place orders. Remember, if you are at shows, if you are at events, find a way to get people's names and emails. Start building that customer list. We'll talk more about that at the end of the month, but having that customer list is amazing, because then you can reach out to them even if they don't reach out to you. Now, what's the easiest way to do that? Giveaways. Have a shirt themed around the event that you're at, some sort of slogan that matches up. They can enter to win it. Or anything else that you want to give away. You may have a full little gift basket, but by entering to win, they're giving you their email, they're giving you their contact information, and now you're building that list. Another great one, especially if you're focusing on something that involves kids, is going to be guess the number. So put something in a jar. How many pumpkins are in the jar? How many bows are in the jar, whatever it may be, but filling that jar kind of helps too. So there's a lot of ways that you can kind of interact. I do like that in-person selling for that reason, because you are meeting people, you are expanding. If you're like me, you probably don't get out as much in the last few years as we did previously, so it's kind of a way to build connections, and then connections become customers. So again, selling is not a big scary thing. You don't have to, it's not what you're depending on to pay all of your bills. It's not your main job. A lot of times it is a side hustle. So you're just selling a little bit, and then a little bit becomes a little bit more. So just start out small and just kind of build on it, and then it can become your passion. But you're already taking something that you love and you're making a little money off of it, which you can never go wrong with. So Rhodes, has anyone contributed?
So Lori has a couple good comments here. First, she thinks that you should open a store because you have awesome ideas. But she also said that Facebook has a lot of groups where you can sell handmade items. The key to that, though, is to join and watch the group for a few weeks, look at the engagement, and make sure that it's not full of scammers and spammers and robots and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's huge. Making sure that you're dealing with real people in these groups is big. And to Lori's point, actually, Alex Fox, again, wonderful podcast. Please check it out. Said something that really resonated with me. I think Rhodes, it probably resonated with you as well. Is he said, if you are designing, so if you are making as a hobby to just do it for your child, for them to wear it to school or for their teachers, or whether you're designing for friends and family, someone would want to buy that and you already have the design. So just a very important thing to remember is that even if you don't think of yourself as a side hustler or as a small business, you could be. And it's very easy to, again, and I said it yesterday, I'll say it all month, make a little money off of something you love doing already. So it's a lot easier to stick your toe in than you think. But that resonated with me is if you're already making the designs, if you already have the materials to make the product, it's really silly not to take that extra step and tell other people that they can buy it from you as well. So an easy way to get started. Anything else today, Rhodes?
We don't have any other questions now.
All right. Well, I know this is a little bit of a quick one, but I think it's an important one. So just to kind of get you started thinking about places that you can sell for the holidays, I hope you go back and check out our workshop from yesterday on building a business plan. And again, not a big scary business plan that you're presenting to a bank or to an investor. This is just for you to get your thoughts on paper about what you plan to do this holiday season to get you started in the right direction. So that's all I've got for you today. Check us out next week. We're making some great products. On Tuesday, we'll be making that home decor items. And then on Wednesday, we're going to start into what I think is my favorite, and we'll revisit it throughout the next few months, and that's going to be holiday ornaments. So thank you for joining us today, whether it's live or whether you're watching a little bit later, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.